Hey guys, it's me, Mrs. Pearson again. So here's the second part of your lesson for today. Now we're going to talk about plagiarizing. And this comes hand in hand with a works cited page, because if you're doing a works cited page, then it's kind of in a sense holding you accountable to list all resources that are there. Sometimes it's easier to get away with plagiarizing or not realize you're doing it. We're not being held accountable to list all of your resources. So why is plagiarism important and who really cares? So basically, plagiarism is theft of intellectual property. Plagiarism is cheating. Plagiarism may result in receiving a failing grade or 0 for the assignment. It could result in disciplinary referral. Students caught plagiarizing may be denied admittance to or removal from the National Honor Society. So that may sound like not a big deal, but if you get caught plagiarizing, especially in college, you will get kicked out, and that will be permanently on your student transcripts and will follow you no matter what other college you try to transfer to. Within the state, out of the state, in another country, your permanent academic file will follow you wherever you go. So don't plagiarize, because it'll ruin your chances of completing your college education. Some of the things you think you know about plagiarism may be wrong. One, it doesn't matter if the person who working up cited is alive or dead. It's your own. If it's not your own idea, you must cite your source. If you translate or paraphrase something, you must still give a citation. If you use a picture from the internet, you still need to cite your source. So we get so many things offline today that it's easy to plagiarize without realizing it. So two types of plagiarism. Intentional, that means you're doing it on purpose. You're copying a friend's work. Buying or borrowing papers off the internet. Cutting and pasting blocks of text from electronic sources without documenting. Media borrowing without documentation. Web publishing without permission of creators. So even if you put like a little music clip or soundbite or anything into a PowerPoint, Google Slides, anything like that, that's intentional plagiarism. As long as you list the resource, then you're able to use it, but you need to make sure you get that information. Unintentional plagiarism means that you careless paraphrase something. So you're thinking, oh, if I just reword it in my own words, I'm okay. Poor documentation, maybe you forgot to cite a source. Over quoting excessively. So if you your whole entire essay is nothing but quotes, then with no resources, then that's unintentional. And failure to use your own voice. So if you're completely using others' ideas, that is unintentional. So here's some excuses for plagiarizing. Everyone does it. I was too busy to write that paper. My parents expect A's. I've got to get into whatever university. My teachers expect too much. The assignment was boring. It's okay if I don't get caught. Well, none of these are right, and they're all excuses. So you may have been told that if you put something into your own words, you need not cite. This is incorrect. The material is still someone else's idea and requires acknowledgement. So paraphrasing requires a citation. Even if you're re-quoting somebody without the quotes, you're just kind of saying, oh yeah, I remember Kanye West said such and such about this album. Either you're citing him directly by using quotes, or even if you're just relaying what he said without the quotes, you still need to cite him as that source. So I'm going to jump around a little bit. Do I have to cite everything? And the answer is no. Facts that are widely known or information on judgments considered common knowledge do not have to be documented. So hooray for common knowledge. Okay, so examples of common knowledge. John Adams was our second president. The Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. So basically, this is stuff that we already know. We don't have to have a cite for every single little piece of information, because it's common knowledge. It's not something that somebody said. It's not someone else's idea. These are things that just in fact happened. No need to document when you're discussing your own experience, observations, or reactions. So of course in a paper, we already know that you're the author because you're writing it and turning it in. So you don't really need to cite yourself. When you're compiling the results of original research from science experiments, so you're just kind of combining an overall summary of what you've learned, and you're using common knowledge. Those don't need to be documented. So what's the big deal? If I change a few words, I'm okay, right? Wrong. Paraphrasing original ideas without documenting your source is plagiarism too. You can borrow from the works of others in your own work. Use these 3 strategies. You're going to quote. If you're going to borrow others' ideas, then you need to make sure you quote them, you paraphrase them, or you're summarizing, and make sure that you're giving them the credit. Quoting. So quotations are the exact words of an author copied directly from a source, word for word. Quotations must be cited. Use quotations when you want to add the power of an author's words to support your argument. You want to disagree with an argument. You want to highlight particularly eloquent or powerful phrases of passages. You are comparing and contrasting specific points of view. You want to note the important research that precedes your own. So quotations should be used sparingly. They must be exact word for word as they appear in the original document. You can read on that a little bit. And quotations must be attributed to the original author and the source that you use. For example, if you use the phrase 20 years ago, our forefathers, you must give credit to Abraham Lincoln in the book in which he is quoted. So you can't just write Abraham Lincoln. You need to know that that's from the Gettysburg Address, and you need to provide all the following information here. Paraphrasing. So paraphrasing means that you're rephrasing the words of an author, putting his or her thoughts in your own words. When you paraphrase, you rework the source's ideas, words, phrases, and sentence structures with your own. So paraphrase when you plan to use information on your note cards and wish to avoid plagiarizing. You want to avoid overusing quotations, or you want to use your own voice to present information. So here's examples of paraphrasing. So source. Unless steps are taken to provide a predictable and stable energy supply in the face of growing demand, the nation may be in danger of sudden power losses and even extended blackouts, thus damaging our industrial and information-based economies. John Doe, 1999, page 231. So here's an inadequate paraphrase. Doe recommends that the government take action to provide a predictable and stable energy supply because of constantly growing demand. Otherwise, we may be in danger of losing power or even experiencing extended blackouts. These circumstances could damage our industrial and information-based economy. So it's inadequate because it's still almost like word for word, and you want to kind of just relate the idea. You're summarizing it would be more on the safe side. So this is kind of where I'm going to cut it, and I just wanted to kind of give you a basic rundown of what plagiarizing is and basic steps on how to avoid it. And of course, we will follow up more with this as we are going through our ERWC unit and as we prepare to conduct our research for our research essay. Next, I just want you guys to follow with some questions in your small group. You auditory learners, the more you guys talk about it, even after listening to it, it's still another way of you hearing through your conversation together as a group. So, have fun, and I will see you soon.